Charis here. It's our first day of filming for CSMVS. I'm going to take you along on the journey with me and take you behind the scenes in the British Museum. Hopefully see things you've never seen before. I'm going to go to places you've never gone to before. You won't believe the amount of people that are involved in a project like this. There's so much work that goes into it that's unseen, and I'm going to show you as much of it as possible today, and as many people as possible. We're going to introduce you to conservation, show the work that goes into preparing for this loan, and I'm going to show you the work that my colleagues in Loans on Display do to help me prepare for a project like this. This project involves us lending 83 objects to the CSMVS Museum in Mumbai. Here, they'll be on display for 3 years with objects from other institutions in their Networks of a Past gallery. It's very busy, there's a lot going on, we need to get going. I can't be standing around, so come on, let's go.
This is one of the most ambitious projects that the CSMVS has undertaken. Under the leadership of our Director General Sabyasachi Mukherjee, together with our advisors Neil McGregor and Maharaj Tarapur, this entire initiative was conceived nearly 5 years ago. At the center of the project was the idea of sharing. Sharing not just collections and objects, but also sharing knowledge, sharing expertise, and really sharing thoughts and conversations among curators. We were very fortunate that under the Getty's Sharing Collections program, we could imagine such a large-scale initiative. One of the core ideas of the project is that we want to use the museum as a classroom.
This is one of the objects that's going on loan to the CSMVS Museum in Mumbai. I have been working on this mummy to primarily secure any textile element that might have been lifting. When something needs to travel, we need to make sure that it's stable enough to travel to maintain its good condition. So what I've been doing with this cut mummy was to gently poke the surface with a silicone tip tool and find out if there's any areas that are lifting or if there's any textile that is fraying, and then I would make sure that it's stable enough to travel. In order to secure any lifting textile, I use some Japanese tissue that I've pre-tinted, and I tend to just generally color match the tissue with the area I'm gonna be supporting. What I would do would be to just tear a very small piece according to the place where I want to put it, and then take my adhesive and gently apply it on the tissue. And then I'm gonna go back to the area that needs supporting and try to put that underneath. And then once that's under, I'm gonna apply pressure and gently remove the spatula. It's gonna hold it there. It's gonna support it from the back. Yeah, the point of this treatment is to just secure, because we really don't want to intervene that much.
So this crate contains 3 objects from the Egyptian collection. I'm going to start by packing a plaster head, which has a very delicate painted surface. And so a foam block has been cut and shaped to the object, and it's lined with this white material called Tyvek, which is a conservation grade material which protects the object's surface from any abrasion that could be caused by the foam. So the object slides back into the packing, and then it gets tucked up for its journey. And then another block of shaped foam slides in front. And then these pads are slipped in down the side. And there's a cavity that's cut in the foam layer above to account for the very top of the head, which is just poking up through the foam. So the next object is a cat mummy. So because the back of the object has quite an uneven shape, it's packed on a bed of polyester wadding, which is wrapped in Tyvek. And then to support the head and the ears, there's a beanbag pillow, which enables the object to find its own comfortable space within the packing. And then also on this layer, we have a soul house, which needs to be packed in. Very carefully place the next layer down over the objects. The area around the cat's ears is very delicate, and so that's actually one point where we aren't going to place any packing because we don't want there to be any risk of any damage to the ears. But I do want to try to immobilise its head during transport, so it just has these very tiny pads just to slip around the sides of the head to stop it from moving, but avoiding any pressure on the ears. And then to stop the rest of the body from jumping up, the foam is cut to match up with the top. And again, cavities have been cut in the foam above to accommodate any part of the object that's just sticking above the layer of foam. And because the cat mummy is very fragile, we've also included in the packing a beanbag cushion for it to rest on when it's unpacked at the venue.
So we've arrived in Mumbai, me, the team, and all the objects, and it's amazing to see the gallery in 3D and come to life from the drawings we've seen. Looking forward to starting install and making it into an exhibition space.
In terms of this project, we've all donned several hats. I'm one of the 5 curators from the museum that has worked on the Ancient World Gallery. And I think this is personally very special for me because it brings together 2 of the worlds that I work so closely in, which is curation and education. Education is really something that's at the very heart of this project. And the fact that we're calling it a study gallery, I think it highlights just how important this objective is to us. The process of curating this gallery has been quite a unique experiment for us. We began, of course, by thinking about the various narratives that we wanted to cover in this gallery. We drew up a wish list of objects and shared that with our partners at the other museums. And while they were, of course, going through that list, making their recommendations, they were helping us hone the narrative a little bit. We did a huge curriculum mapping exercise here at the museum. And we spoke to curriculum developers, we spoke to teachers, professors, to see what it was that was being taught at schools, at colleges and universities, to see how this project could be meaningful to them. So the selection of objects that you see in this gallery is quite unique. A lot of them are objects that spring to life from the pages of a student's textbook.
This project reminds us that each of our identities is not just shaped by where we live today, the language we speak, or what religion we follow today, but is really a synthesis of centuries of exchange that has happened in the global past. It's really that synthesis that lives through us today, and that's really the message in this entire gallery, that we should continue to share ideas, share thoughts, and share identities.
The Ancient World Gallery is now open to visitors, and we can't wait to welcome all of you to our space. There's so much lined up for schools, for universities, but also for general audiences, and we hope you're able to take back a slice of the ancient world with you.